Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back. You guys already know how this works, so let's just go ahead and jump right in, shall we? So we have the Pharaoh and RogerCop today. So we're gonna start with the Pharaoh. There it is. In this episode, Marinette as Ladybug accidentally drops her history book while riding under a helicopter. You know, as you do. Oya, who happened to be at the scene trying to film Ladybug in action, picks up the book and speculates that Ladybug could be a Parisian collisionne. Whatever that word is. Marinette starts to panic when she finds out, and by Tiki's suggestion, brings Oya to visit a new Pharaoh exhibition at the Louvre. Louvre? Sorry, I'm terrible at pronouncing things. In order to try and get the book back. As they arrive, Alex's brother, Jaleel Cubdell, is discussing with his father about how one of the exhibitions on display is a resurrection spell. He believes that it could work and wants to test it out, but Jaleel's father claims that such an important historical artifact cannot be misused. Frustrated that his father does not believe him, Jaleel is influenced by Hawkmoth, like every other episode, and transforms into the Pharaoh with Egyptian god powers who intends to bring back Nefertiti using Oya as a sacrifice. In this episode, there was a long line of ladybugs going back over 5,000 years, with Marinette being the latest. Okay, this is a very interesting episode. This is actually one of Chrissy's top 3 episodes, and we actually share the same highlights as you see on your screen. And for me, personally, I do really like this one. However, it's not nearly as good as Timebreaker. Like, nowhere near that good. But it's still a good episode either way, and I'm gonna give it my final verdict's an 8.5 out of 10. And then Christie's will more than likely be a 10. Okay, so we got that cleared up. Let's move on to the next episode. RogerCop. In this episode, during career day in Marinette's class, Chloe, the worst character in the show and possibly in all animation existence, loses an expensive bracelet because Plag decided to jump in her bag like a total idiot and accuses Marinette of stealing it, as she had just slipped over Chloe's bag. Chloe persuades her father, Mr. Bourgeois, I'm pretty sure I did that one correctly, to order Officer Roger to handcuff Marinette and search her belongings. Roger, however, refuses, saying that he cannot do that unless there is evidence Marinette stole Chloe's bracelet. I would call her another word, but I'd rather try to keep this somewhat family friendly. So, yeah. That's why I'm not saying the word that I want to. As it is against the law. As a result, Mr. Bourgeois, who is the mayor of Paris, fires Roger. Infuriated at the mayor over this issue, Roger becomes akumatized by Hawkmoth, again, like every other episode when someone gets horribly mistreated, and changes into RogerCop, a RoboCop-themed villain who wants to bring justice to those who break the law. Not to mention, his police car turns into a futuristic flying car. Okay. Now, this one I'm split on. Here's my thing. I'm split on this episode. It's not bad by any means, but I don't know. There are just some parts about it that I can't help but feel are a bit cliche and rip-off-ish. I mean, as you just heard from that summary, RogerCop is pretty much a parody of RoboCop. Even though they're really pretty different. This is a family-friendly show, and RoboCop is an R-rated movie. And number 2, this one... I mean, it's just the name, RogerCop. I mean, it kind of... I get the pun, but it also feels a bit like they didn't know what to call the officer. Like, I know they couldn't say RoboCop or they get sued, but I really don't know. This one just kind of bothers me a bit. However, there are some really funny moments, which are including the highlights that you see on your screen right now. But yeah, I'm split on this one. Christy would probably give this one like a 9 out of 10, and me, I'm at a 7, a solid 7 out of 10. Really, it's still a good episode, but I don't know. I just have some issues with it that keep me from enjoying it as much as the rest. It's not a terrible episode by any means, but a lot like Fright Night from Danny Phantom. God, how many times am I gonna freaking reference that one episode every time I review a different series that I give a 7? It just doesn't really live up to the rest of the show. But that's my opinion. A lot of people still like this one, and if you like it, go ahead. Me? I don't mind rewatching it, it's just there are some things I can't help but notice. Okay, there we go. That's it. And if you guys can't already tell the rankings, I'll just say it outright. Uh, for me, um, the easy best is the Pharaoh. Well, actually, her and I both agree that Pharaoh is the best, more than likely, because it's one of her top three, and it's not a top three for me exactly, but it is more than likely a top 10. It's a very creative, fun, fast-paced, interesting episode that also kind of gives the first hint at the ancient lore of, the whole miraculous thing. And then RogerCop is on the bottom because it just has some elements about it that I just can't help but feel was a bit too copycat for my taste. No, I'm not saying that as in the episode. I'm saying copycat as in it copies from RoboCop. But that's literally it. That's all I can say. But all I know is that her and I will agree on the ranking. We are not going to agree on the scores. But you know what? That's the cool thing about things like YouTube. Because having different opinions also makes for an interesting conversation. That's pretty much how the animation community works, for the most part. Anyway, I'm rambling. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode. Look forward to the next one. Hopefully tomorrow, but we're gonna see how Christy's feeling. Because sometimes she's up to it and sometimes she's not, so we'll just have to wait and see. But until then, I'm Jack Small. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bug out.